a truck ran over our dog. After the Christmas party was over, we all went out caroling. All my problems are over. Anyhow, I'm relieved the test is over. Are we still going to go over to Tom's after school? Are you over 18? Are you over 18 years old? Are you over your cold yet? Are you saying it's over? Are you sure it's all over? As soon as I find it, I'll bring it over to your place. Ask at the police station over there. Beethoven went over to the piano, sat down and began to play. Both Tom and Mary are over 30. Break time's over. Bring Tom over. Calm down, I'll come over as soon as possible. Can I come over and play? Can I come over later? Can I go over to Tom's house to play? Can I stay over? Can I stop over in Boston? Can I talk to you over here for a second? Can we come over for dinner? Can we get some help over here? Can we get this over with, please? Can we go over my options? Can we go over there? Can we just get this over with, please? Can we just start over? Can we please get this over with? Can we sit at the table over there? Can we sit over there? Can we start over? Can you believe that summer is almost over? Can you come over here and help me? Can you come over this afternoon? Can you come over to my house tonight? Can you come over tonight? Can you get that medicine over the counter or do you need a prescription? Can you give us a hand over here? Can you put this over there? Can you see anything over there? Can you see that over there? Can you see the big white building over there? Can you take over driving for a while? Can you take over here? Can you take over the driving for a while? Can't we start over? Can't we talk this over? Children want to hear the same story over and over again. Come and sit over here. Come on over here. Come on over. Come on, let's get this over with. Come over and help out. Come over anytime. Come over here and help me. Come over here and join us. Come over here and sit down. Come over later. Come over to my house. Come over to my place. Come over to our table. Come over. Could we talk over some coffee? Could you please come over here? Could you please move over to make some room? Could you pull over? Could you sit over there? Couldn't we talk this over? Did we run over something? Did you ask Tom to come over and help? Did you have fun over the weekend? Did you have time to look over the report? Do I have to do it over again? Do you know the girl over there? Do you need time to think it over? Do you still want me to come over? Do you want me to take over? Do you want to come over and play? Do you want to come over and watch a movie with me? Do you want to come over for dinner tonight? Do you want to come over now? Do you want to come over tonight? Do you want to take over? Don't cry over spilt milk. Don't expect me to lose any sleep over it. Don't forget to spend a little time looking over your notes before the exam. Don't get run over. Don't go over the speed limit. Don't go over there. Don't lose any sleep over it. Don't lose sleep over that. Don't skip over any details. Don't talk to that guy over there. Don't think this is over. Don't trust anyone over 20. Don't worry, it'll be over soon. Even though Tom is only 16, he looks like he's over 20. Even though Tom just had his 40th birthday, I don't think he's over the hill yet. Everyone looked over at Tom. Everyone rushed over to the other side of the ship to see what was happening. Everything is over. Finally, it was over. For all we know, Tom could be over 30. Get on over here. Get over here now. Get over here right now, Tom. Get Tom over here right away. Get Tom over here. Give me a little time to think it over. Give me some time to think it over. Give me time to think it over. Go over there. Go over to Tom's. Hand it over. Hand over your firearms. He climbed over the fence. He got over his difficulties. He got over the shock of his father's death. He had friends all over the world. He has red spots all over his body. He has taken over his father's business. He is head over heels in love with Mary. He jumped over the hedge. He looked over my report. He must be over 50. He must be over 60. He must have gotten over his cold. He narrowly escaped being run over. He pointed to the tower over there. He poured cold water over himself. He read the letter over and over. He rolled over in his sleep. He tends to get upset over nothing. He thought it over and decided not to go. He told me that his grandfather is over 90. He took over the business from his father. He took over the business. He traveled all over the world. He turned over in bed. He turned over the business to his son. He was run over by a car. He was wet all over. He went over the house. He went over to the other side. Her name is known all over the world. Here, I'll take over for a while. He's over 40. He's over 30. Hey, look over there. Hey, what's that over there? His horse jumped over the fence. How has your life changed over the last 3 years? How many times have I told you not to bring people over without asking for my permission first? How much stuff have you accumulated over the years? How's it going over there? Hunting season is over. I ache all over. I almost got run over by a truck. I asked Tom to come over. I asked Tom to take over for me. I believe you'll get over it soon. I bought this shirt at that store over there. I called my neighbors over for dinner. I called the police and they said they'd send someone right over. I came over here to tell you guys that you need to be a little quieter. I can come over to help, but not this Monday night. I can hardly believe it's over. I can't believe Tom quit his job without talking it over with Mary first. I can't come over tonight. I can't get over how different the weather is here. I can't get over it. I can't get over my cold. I can't get over you. I can't imagine what's come over me. I can't jump over that ditch. I can't lift boxes over 30 kilograms. I certainly had no idea Tom would be coming over tonight. I climbed over the fence. I could fall in love with you all over again. I could invite Tom over for dinner. I dare you to jump over this ditch. I didn't know it was over. I didn't run Tom over. I didn't want to tell you over the phone. I don't know what came over me. I don't think it's likely that Tom will come over this time of night. I don't want to go over it all again. I don't want to make the same mistakes over again. I don't want Tom to take over. I felt like my life was over. I felt pain all over. I gained back the weight I'd lost over the summer. I got a little upset over it. I got over it. You should too. I got over my cold quickly. I got over that. I guess I could call Tom and ask him to come over and help. I guess I'll just go over to Tom's. I guess it's all over. I guess this is over. I had no control over the situation. I had pain all over my body. I had stage fright at first, but I got over it quickly. I had to climb over the fence. I had to climb over the wall. I have a fever and I ache all over. I have aches and pains all over my body. I have bruises all over my body. I have lots of friends I can talk things over with. I have mosquito bites all over my arm. I have no control over that. I have no control over what happens. I have people over to my place all the time. I have to pull over for a minute. I have to start over. I have to think this over carefully. I have told Tom over and over again not to make fun of Mary. I have traveled all over Australia. I haven't been sick in over 3 years. I haven't gotten over my cold yet. I haven't seen Tom for over 3 months. I haven't seen Tom in over a week. I hope it's over. I hope Tom comes over to my place today. I hope you and Tom will come over for dinner sometime soon. I invited Tom over for dinner. I invited Tom over to my place. I just spent over $3,000. I just spoke to Tom over there. I just want this to be over. I just want to get it over with. I just want to get over it. I just want to go over this one more time. I just want to know why you didn't come over to help yesterday. I just wanted it to be over with. I just wanted it to be over. I knocked over that lamp. I know it's kind of late, but would you mind if I came over now? I have something I need to discuss with you. I know those girls over there quite well. I know when I'm in over my head. I live just over there. I looked all over for Tom but couldn't find him. I looked all over for Tom. I looked all over for you. I looked for Tom and Mary for over an hour. I looked over the documents. I may stay in Boston for over a month. I might stay in Boston for over a month. I miss you. I need to see you. Could I come over? I narrowly escaped being run over by a car. I need to go over my notes. I need you to take over. I need you to wait over there. I once saw a man walk barefoot over hot coals. I only went over there to help. I ordered that book over a week ago. I played tennis after school was over. I read it over again. I really don't think it's over. I said come over here. I saw a white dog jump over the fence. I saw it over there. I searched all over for Tom. I searched all over for you. I should have phoned Tom before I went over to see him. I should have phoned Tom before I went over to visit him. I spilled coffee all over my shirt. I stayed in Boston over 3 months. I talked it over with Tom and we've decided to go too. I think I can come over this afternoon. I think I'll get over it. I think I'll go over to Tom's this afternoon. I think it's over now. I think it's over. I think our relationship is over. I think she is over 40 years old. I think she's over 40 years old. I think that's Tom over there. I think the movie is almost over. I think the worst is over now. I think Tom is over 30. I think we'd better start over again. I think what you want is over here. I thought about heading over to Tom's but decided not to. I thought I'd gotten over you. I thought it over and decided to tell Tom everything. I thought it was all over. I thought the game was over. I thought this was over. I thought Tom had gotten over Mary. I thought you asked me to come over today. I thought you might be lonely, so I came over with a bottle of wine. I thought you might want to look over these documents. I told Tom to wait over there. I told you it wasn't over. I told you you didn't have to come over. I took over my father's job. I turned over the business to my son. I used to love it when the Tom came over to visit. I used to make sure I put a cover over my motorcycle at night. I want it to be over. I want this to be over. I want to go over a few things with you. I want to go over it again in more detail. I want to go over these numbers with you. I want to meet people from all over the world. I want to start over. I want Tom to come over and apologize to Mary. I want us to start over again. I want you to go back over to other side. I wanted to ask Tom to come over to help me paint the ceiling. I wanted to tell Tom in person, so I drove over to his house. I was aching all over. I was almost run over by a car. I was eating over there. I was going over Tom's file. I was in way over my head. I was just wondering if Tom has ever been over to your house for dinner. I was made to wait for over 30 minutes. I wasn't careful and now I'm sunburned all over. I went over the report. I went over to Tom's house. I went over to where Tom was. I wish Friday was over and done with. I wish this job was over. I wish this was all over. I wish this was over. I wouldn't lose a lot of sleep over it. I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. I'll be over in half an hour. I'll look it over later. I'm sore all over. I'd better think this over. I'd do it all over again. I'd like to have Tom and Mary over for dinner. I'd like to have Tom over for dinner. I'd like to look things over. I'd rather get this over with. If Shakespeare were still living, he'd be over 450 years old. If you want to come over, call first. If you would move over, there would be room for everyone. I'll all be over soon. I'll be glad when it's over. I'll be glad when this is over. I'll be happy when this is over. I'll be over here doing my job. I'll be over here. I'll be over in a minute. I'll be right over. I'll come over. I'll come right over. I'll get over it. I'll get over you. I'll go over to Tom's early tomorrow morning. I'll have to take over my father's business in the future. I'll have to think it over. I'll never get over that. I'll see if Tom wants to come over. I'll sit over there. I'll take over from here. I'll take over now. I'll take over. I'll talk it over with Tom and see what he thinks. I'll think it over carefully. I'll think it over. I'll turn it over to Tom. I'm already over 30. I'm coming over to your place. I'm coming right over. I'm completely over it. I'm glad it's all over. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad that's over. I'm glad this is all over. I'm glad to have a roof over my head. I'm glad you came over. I'm glad you're over your cold. I'm glad you've gotten over your cold. I'm going over to my sister's. I'm going over to Tom's house now to tell him about what happened. I'm going over to Tom's tonight. I'm going to be over here. I'm going to go over to Tom's. I'm going to start over. I'm happy it's over now. I'm happy that it's over. I'm happy the game is over. I'm having a friend over today. I'm headed over to Tom's. I'm hoping that I can write 2 or 3 songs over the weekend. I'm hungover. I'm in way over my head. I'm just glad it's all over. I'm just glad it's over. I'm just going to wait over there. I'm looking over his report. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm not over it. I'm not over the hill yet. I'm not over 30 years old. I'm on my way over. I'm over 18. I'm over here. I'm over my limit. I'm over the shock. I'm over 30. I'm over you. I'm parked over there. I'm ready to get this over with. I'm really glad you came over. I'm right over here, Tom. I'm saying get over it. I'm sorry, but could you move over a bit so I have room to sit? I'm supposed to go over to Tom's. I'm sure glad that's over with. I'm sure glad that's over. I'm sure I'll get over it soon. I'm sure Tom will come over and help. I'm sure Tom will get over it. I'm taking over. I'm the type who likes to think things over very carefully. I'm too old to start over. I'm turning it over to you. Introduce me to your friend over there. Is basketball season over yet? Is it all over? Is it hot over there? Is it over yet? Is it over? Is it really all over? Is that man over there, Tom? Is the party over? Is Tom over there with you? It ain't over till it's over. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. It happened over a year ago. It has been over 3 years since I moved here. It is no use crying over spilled milk. It isn't over yet. It isn't over. It looks like there's an elevator over there. It may take over an hour. It still isn't over. It takes time to get over a divorce. It took more than a month to get over my cold, but I'm okay now. It took 3 weeks for me to get over my cold. It took Tom a long time to get over Mary's death. It was all over in a matter of seconds. It was all over. It'll be a long time before she gets over her father's death. It'll be over in a minute. It'll be over in a moment. It'll take me a long time to get over my cold. It'll take Tom some time, but eventually he'll get over Mary. It's all over for us. It's all over now. It's all over. It's almost over. It's been over a week since I last saw Tom. It's finally over. It's happening all over again. It's just over there. It's no use crying over spilled milk. It's not at all rare to live to be over 90 years old. It's not over till the fat lady sings. It's not over yet. It's not over. It's not yet over. It's over between us. It's over here. It's over now, right? It's over there. It's over, isn't it? It's right over here. It's still not over. It's time to start over. I've asked Tom to come over for dinner. I've been all over Europe. I've been all over the place. I've been all over this world. I've been all over town looking for Tom. I've been all over. I've been going over the budget. I've been going over the inventory. I've been going over Tom's chart. I've been going over Tom's file. I've been going over Tom's notes. I've been going over your books. I've been here over a year. I've been in Boston for over a year. I've been looking all over for my shoes. I've been looking all over for Tom. I've been thinking it over. I've been trying to talk to you for over a month. I've been waiting for over an hour. I've finally gotten over my cold. I've gained over 5 pounds since I got here. I've learned a lot from you over the past year. I've never seen a plane fly over this island. I've thought it over. I've turned over a new leaf. Jump over it. Just get it over with. Just get over here. Just sit over there with the others. Just sit over there with Tom. Just the other day, Tom and Mary came over for a visit. Let me come over. Let me know when it's over. Let me take over. Let me think it over a bit. Let me think this over. Let's discuss it over dinner. Let's discuss the plan over a cup of coffee. Let's discuss this over lunch. Let's get it all over with. Let's get it over with. Let's get the work over with so we can relax. Let's get this meeting over with. Let's get this over with quickly. Let's get this over with. Let's get together and talk it over. Let's go drink a cup of coffee at that coffee shop over there. Let's go over it again. Let's go over it one more time. Let's go over the plan one more time. Let's go over there and sit down a while. Let's go over this plan again. Let's go over what we already know. Let's invite Tom over for dinner. Let's just get it over with. Let's just get this over with. Let's move over to that table. Let's not go over that again. Let's not panic over this. Let's not talk about this over the phone. Let's park over there. Let's rent bicycles over there. Let's sit down and talk things over. Let's sit over there. Let's put the map on the table and talk it over. Let's start over again. Let's swim over there. Let's talk about it over dinner. Let's talk about it over lunch. Let's talk about that over drinks. Let's talk over a cold beer. Let's talk over a cup of coffee. Let's talk over the matter. Let's talk over the plan after school. Let's tell Tom we're too tired to come over tonight. Look at that koala over there. Look at the train going over the bridge. Look it over. Look over here. Look over there. Mary had a few friends over for lunch and they spent most of the time griping about their husbands. Mary went over to the United States in her late teens. May I come right over? May I go over to Tom's house to play? Move over, will you? My blood pressure is 155/105. My body aches all over. My body itches all over. My car's over there. My life is almost over. My lunch break's almost over. My marriage is over. My office is over there. My shift's almost over. My shift's over in a couple of hours. My shift's over soon. My shift's over. Newspapers lay scattered all over the floor. Nobody needs to lose their job over this. Now it's over. Now move over. Now come over here. Okay, I'll be right over. Okay, let's get this over with. Our dog was nearly run over by a car. Our dog was run over by a truck. Our lunch break's over. Our profits have declined over the past few years. Our vacation is almost over. Our work is all over now. Our work is almost over. Over 30 people committed suicide. Over 300 people were arrested. Over time, things only got worse. People came from all over. Perhaps I should take over. Please come over here. Please come over if you have time. Please do it over. Please pull over. Please simmer the beans for a while over a low heat. Please think it over. Pull over here. Put it over there. School is finally over. School is over at 3:30. School is over now. Scoot over and make room for Tom. Send Tom over. She came very near to being run over by a car. She can't be over 30. She explained it over again. She got over the shock of her father's death. She hung a curtain over the window. She's certainly over 40. She's over 20. She spends over a third of her time doing paperwork. She traveled all over the world. She was aching all over. She was made to wait for over an hour. She was run over by a car. She was too short to see over the fence. Should I take over? Shove over. Sit down over there. Sit over there. Something strange is happening over there. Sorry I couldn't come over yesterday. Something came up. Stand over there. Start over. Stop fussing over me. I'm fine. Summer is almost over. Summer is over. Take over, will you? Take over. Talk it over. Tell Tom I'll be right over. Tell Tom I'm coming over. Tell Tom I'm coming right over. Tell Tom I'm on my way over. Tell Tom that Mary doesn't want him to come over. Thanks for coming over tonight. Thanks for coming over. That car over there is mine. That girl over there is my sister. That guy over there looks like Tom. That happened over a year ago. That happened over 3 years ago. That house over there is where Tom lives. That kid was almost run over when the truck backed up. That lady is over 80. That man over there asked me who I was. That man over there is Tom. That man over there might be our new teacher. That tall man over there is Tom. That tower you see over there is the Eiffel Tower. That was over 3 months ago. That went right over my head. That's all over now. That's all over. That's over now. That's Tom over there. The auction is over. The audience clapped when the concert was over. The bartender walked over to where Tom was sitting and asked him what he wanted to drink. The boy over there reading a book is Tom. The boy standing over there is Tom. The break is over. The concert is over. The danger is apparently over. The danger is over. The day is almost over. The day isn't over yet. The dog was run over by a car. The door is over here. The drought is over. The emergency is not over yet. The evening isn't over. The experiment is over. The feud is over. The fight is over. The game is not over. The game is over. The game isn't over yet. The game's almost over. The girl singing over there is my sister. The girl standing over there is Mary. The guy standing over there is Tom. The holidays aren't over yet. The honeymoon is over. The honeymoon's not over yet. The interrogation is over. The investigation is over. The Jacksons have invited us over for dinner tonight. The kid climbed over the fence. The lad leaned over and shouted into Tom's ear. The lake is completely frozen over. The light is better over here. The long wait is over. The man reading a book over there is my father. The man standing over there is the owner of the store. The man you see over there is a famous writer. The man you see over there is my uncle. The meeting is over. The meeting isn't over. The meeting started over an hour ago. The news spread all over Japan. The nightmare is finally over. The old man narrowly escaped being run over by a car. The old man was run over by a car. The party is over. The party was over at 9. The party's over. The patrolman motioned me to pull over. The play is over. The play's over. The police went over every inch of this place. The pond froze over. The pond has frozen over. The post office is just across from that store over there. The pot is boiling over. The race is over. The recession is over. The revolution is over. The river is frozen over. The rumors all over town. The runner jumped over the hole in the ground. The show is over. The show's almost over. The sound is coming from over there. The stairs are over there. The summer is over. The summer vacation is over. The toilet is over there. The train flipped over. The truck nearly ran me over. The vacation is over now. The vending machines are over there. The wait is almost over. The wait is finally over. The wait is over. The war is over. The weather was so cold that the lake froze over. The week is finally over. The week is over. The wind blew the trees over. The worst is over. The worst is probably over. Their hats are hanging over there. There are over 15 different kinds of pies. There is a bridge over the pond. There is something else over here I want you to see. There was a lot of food left over from the party. There was broken glass all over the floor. There was nothing left over. There was some meat left over. There's a payphone over there. There's a rowboat right over there. There's a seat over there. There's coffee over there if you want it. There's no getting over that. There's nothing over there. There's something over there. They chatted over coffee for more than 2 hours. They talked over a cup of coffee. Things change over time. Think it over. This discussion is over. This interview is over. This isn't over yet. This isn't over. This meeting isn't over. This might be over soon. This should be over very soon. This thing isn't over yet. This will all be over soon. Those books look as if they're going to topple over any minute. Those people over there are speaking French. Those who choose not to read have no advantage over those who can't read. Tom accidentally knocked over the bottle of water. Tom aches all over after working all day. Tom advised Mary to take some time to think over her options. Tom almost fell over the cliff. Tom always has a backpack slung over his shoulder. Tom and Mary are sitting at a table over near the jukebox. Tom and Mary fell head over heels in love with each other. Tom and Mary have been married for over 30 years. Tom and Mary want to come over. Tom and Mary were walking down the path with fishing poles slung over their shoulders. Tom apologized over the phone. Tom asked Mary if she wanted to come over and watch a movie. Tom asked Mary to scoot over. Tom asked Mary to think it over. Tom asked Mary what time she wanted him to come over. Tom asked me to come over and help him. Tom asked me to come over. Tom asked me to take over. Tom asked me to think it over. Tom asked the same question over and over but never got an answer. Tom bends over backwards to make Mary happy. Tom bends over backwards to please Mary. Tom bent over to pick something up. Tom bent over to pick up a coin that was on the floor. Tom bent over to tie his shoes. Tom borrowed some books from the library to read over the weekend. Tom bought a camera that was overpriced. Tom brought his dog over to Mary's house. Tom brought way too much food, so there was some left over. Tom calculated that he had given Mary over $34,000 in the past 6 months. Tom calculated that the total would be over $900. Tom called Mary and asked her to come over to his house. Tom called Mary over. Tom came close to being run over by a truck. Tom came close to being run over. Tom came over and had dinner with us. Tom came over and helped me. Tom came over for dinner yesterday evening. Tom came over last night. Tom came over to join us at our table. Tom came over to my house for dinner yesterday. Tom came over to my place at 2:30. Tom came over to talk to me. Tom came over while you were asleep. Tom came right over. Tom can come over to my house and practice on my piano if he wants to. Tom can come over to my place whenever he wants. Tom can't be over 30. Tom can't be over 30. He looks like he's about 18. Tom can't believe Mary's over 30. Tom can't get over how Mary treated him. Tom can't get over Mary. Tom can't get over what happened to Mary. Tom can't seem to get over Mary's death. Tom carefully read over the contract. Tom certainly doesn't look like he's over 80. Tom changed his mind after thinking over the matter for a long time. Tom climbed over the fence. Tom climbed over the wall. Tom comes over all the time. Tom couldn't possibly be over 30. Tom couldn't see over the wall. Tom decided to mosey on over to Mary's place. Tom did come over that night. Tom did this over a year ago. Tom didn't arrive until the concert was over. Tom didn't arrive until the meeting was over. Tom didn't show up until the meeting was over. Tom didn't want to talk about that over the phone. Tom died with over $10 million in the bank. Tom doubled over with pain. Tom drank a lot last night and is a bit hungover this morning. Tom draped his coat over Mary's shoulders. Tom drove Mary all over the place. Tom felt like he was in over his head. Tom figured it was over. Tom finally decided to try jumping over the stream. Tom flies all over the world. Tom followed Mary over the bridge. Tom gained weight over the winter. Tom gave Mary a week to think it over. Tom glanced over at Mary. Tom glanced over his shoulder. Tom glanced over the paper. Tom got a chance to start over. Tom got up from behind his desk and went over to open a window. Tom got out of bed, walked over to the window and looked out at the sunrise. Tom got over his cold. Tom got pulled over by the police. Tom got run over by a truck. Tom got run over. Tom got to his feet and walked over to the window. Tom grew a beard over the summer. Tom had bruises all over his body after the fight. Tom had bruises all over his body. Tom had just started to clean his room when Mary came over to visit. Tom had many opportunities to meet Mary over the summer. Tom had planned to catch up on some work over the weekend. Tom had to leave the movie theater before the movie was over. Tom had to start over again. Tom had to write the report all over again. Tom has been gone for over an hour. Tom has been looking all over for you. Tom has been married to Mary for just over 3 years. Tom has been waiting for slightly over an hour. Tom had friends all over the world. Tom has known Mary for over 3 years. Tom has lived in Boston for over 30 years. Tom has lived in Boston for over a year. Tom has never gotten over Mary's death. Tom has over $3 million deposited in that bank. Tom has over $3 million in assets. Tom has red spots all over his body. Tom has tattoos all over his body. Tom hasn't budged for over an hour. Tom hasn't heard from Mary in over a week. Tom hasn't moved for over an hour. Tom hasn't used it for over a year. Tom heard a knock and walked over to the door to open it. Tom held his hands over his ears. Tom helped Mary climb over the fence. Tom helped Mary start over again. Tom hopes Mary can come over to his house this afternoon. Tom hung a dark curtain over the window. Tom hurried over to Mary's house. Tom invited his friends over. Tom invited Mary over for dinner. Tom invited Mary over to eat dinner. Tom invited me over for coffee. Tom invited me over for dinner. Tom is a little over 30. Tom is a millionaire several times over. Tom is already over 30. Tom is certainly over 30. Tom is clearly over 30. Tom is coming over after lunch. Tom is coming over for dinner. Tom is coming over in a little while. Tom is coming over this weekend. Tom is coming over to watch a movie. Tom is coming over tomorrow. Tom is definitely over 30. Tom is glad it's all over. Tom is glad it's over. Tom is glad the school year is finally over. Tom is head over heels in love with Mary. Tom is hungover. Tom is making money hand over fist. Tom is now talking with Mary over near the fountain. Tom is on his way over. Tom is over 80 kilos. Tom is over here. Tom is over there standing by the window. Tom is over there. Tom is over 30. Tom is playing over there. Tom is probably over 30. Tom is right over there. Tom is sitting alone under that tree over there. Tom is sitting at the table over there. Tom is sitting over there. Tom is standing over there near the fireplace. Tom is standing right over there. Tom is still not over his cold. Tom is still too young to take over. Tom is taking over for me. Tom is taking over. Tom is thinking it over. Tom is too young to take over yet. Tom is very glad that school is over. Tom jumped over the big ditch. Tom jumped over the ditch. Tom jumped over the fence. Tom jumped over the hedge. Tom jumped over the huge ditch. Tom jumped over the puddle. Tom jumped over the shallow ditch. Tom kicked over a chair. Tom knocked over the vase. Tom knows it's over. Tom knows that Mary is over 30. Tom laid a blanket over Mary. Tom leaned over and kissed Mary. Tom leaned over and kissed Mary's cheek. Tom leaned over and picked the coin up. Tom leaned over the banister. Tom leaned over the bridge. Tom leaned over the table and kissed Mary. Tom leaned over to kiss Mary. Tom leaned over to put on his shoes. Tom leaned over to talk to Mary. Tom leaned over to tie his shoelaces. Tom likes his eggs over hard. Tom lived in that small house for a little over 10 years. Tom looked over at Mary. Tom looked over his shoulder to see if Mary was still following him. Tom looked over his shoulder. Tom looked over the documents carefully. Tom looked over the fence. Tom looked over the file. Tom looked over to his shoulder. Tom made money hand over fist. Tom makes over $300,000 a year. Tom may be in over his head. Tom moved back to Boston to take over his father's business. Tom must be over 30 by now. Tom must be over 30. Tom must weigh over 300 pounds. Tom must have gotten over his cold. Tom narrowly escaped being run over. Tom needed some time to think things over. Tom needs time to think it over. Tom nervously looks over to Mary. Tom never did get over Mary, did he? Tom never drives over the speed limit. Tom never got over Mary. Tom never really got over it. Tom never really got over Mary. Tom never really got over Mary's death. Tom often comes over and swims laps in our swimming pool. Tom often drives slightly over the speed limit. Tom owes Mary slightly over $1,000. Tom poured cold water over himself to wake himself up. Tom poured cold water over himself. Tom poured cold water over his head. Tom poured some cold water over his head. Tom presided over the meeting. Tom promised Mary that he'd turn over a new leaf. Tom pulled his jacket hood over his head. Tom pushed Mary over the edge of the cliff. Tom put a band-aid over his small tattoo of a spider so he would be allowed into a Japanese hot spring. Tom put a cover over his car. Tom put his hand over his heart. Tom put his hand over his mouth. Tom put his hand over Mary's mouth. Tom put his hand over Mary's. Tom put his hand over the microphone. Tom put his hands over his ears. Tom put his hands over his mouth. Tom put his hands over Mary's mouth. Tom put plywood over the windows. Tom ran over a dog yesterday. Tom ran over someone's dog. Tom ran over to help Mary. Tom really thinks things over. Tom resisted the temptation to lean over and kiss Mary. Tom rolled over and snoozed for another 15 minutes. Tom rolled over in bed. Tom rolled over in his sleep. Tom said he read a lot of interesting books over the summer. Tom said he was aching all over. Tom said he would come over this evening. Tom said he'd be interested in taking over Mary's job when she retires. Tom said he'd be right over. Tom said he'd think it over and give us his answer tomorrow. Tom said I could come over. Tom said it's not over. Tom said Mary was coming over for dinner. Tom said that he heard all over. Tom said that the emergency was over. Tom saves over 80% of what he earns. Tom saw Mary across the room and went over to talk to her. Tom saw that Mary wasn't happy and went over to cheer her up. Tom sent me over to get you. Tom shouted at the top of his lungs so Mary could hear him over the sound of the waterfall. Tom slung his bag over his shoulder. Tom softly closed the door and tiptoed over to Mary. Tom spilled coffee all over my shirt. Tom stayed in Boston over a month. Tom stayed over. Tom stopped over in Boston for 3 days on his way to Australia. Tom stumbled over something on the ground. Tom thinks Mary is over 40. Tom thought he could reach the airport on time if he drove a little over the speed limit. Tom thought it over carefully. Tom thought it over very carefully. Tom thought it over. Tom thought Mary should go over to John's house and help him. Tom thought that Mary was probably over 30. Tom threw the bag over the fence. Tom tipped the barrel over. Tom told Mary that it was over. Tom told Mary that the relationship was over. Tom told Mary to pull over. Tom told me to come over. Tom took over after I left. Tom took over his father's business. Tom took over his father's store. Tom took over in 2013. Tom took over the business. Tom took over the family business. Tom traveled all over the country. Tom tried to climb over the fence. Tom tripped over something. Tom turned over. Tom used to come over all the time and hang out with us. Tom usually drives slightly over the speed limit. Tom waited outside in the pouring rain for over an hour. Tom walked over to Mary and hugged her. Tom walked over to Mary. Tom walked over to Mary's desk. Tom walked over to the desk. Tom walked over to the filing cabinet. Tom walked over to the woman with a drink in her hand and asked her what her name was. Tom walked over to where Mary was. Tom wanted Mary to come over for an early dinner. Tom wanted me to come over for breakfast, so I did. Tom wanted to go over a few things with Mary. Tom wanted to turn over a new leaf. Tom wants to come over after work. Tom wants to know if he can come over and play. Tom wants to think it over. Tom wants to turn over a new leaf. Tom was almost run over by a dump truck. Tom was going 50 over the speed limit when the police pulled him over. Tom was in the hospital for over a week. Tom was looking all over for you. Tom was pulled over by the police. Tom was pulled over. Tom was sent here to take over. Tom was stabbed over 30 times. Tom weighs over 90 kilograms. Tom went home as soon as the concert was over. Tom went over and hugged Mary. Tom went over and sat down next to Mary. Tom went over to talk to Mary. Tom went over to the pool table. Tom went over to the telephone. Tom went over to where Mary was standing. Tom went over to your house. Tom will be over. Tom will get over it. Tom will take over after Mary retires. Tom wishes Mary would come over for a visit. Tom works all over town. Tom yelled over the music. Tom yelled over the noise. Tom, can you take over? Tom's backpack is over there. Tom's car's parked over there. Tom's dog knocked over our trash can. Tom's dog was run over by a car. Tom's dog was run over by a truck. Tom's joke went over Mary's head. Tom's mother told him that he should ask Mary over for dinner. Tom's problems aren't over. Tom's troublemaking days are over. Tom's troubles aren't over yet. Tom's troubles aren't over. Tom's truck is parked over there. Tom's worries are over. Tourists from all over the world come here. Turn it over. Visiting hours are almost over. Wait over here. Wait over there. We agonized over this. We already looked over there. We are flying over the Pacific. We camped there over the holiday. We can haggle over a price later. We can see a big mountain over there. We can see a church over there. We can see his house over there. We can see Mount Fuji over there. We can start over again. We can talk over lunch. We have just over 300 employees. We have no control over that. We have to start all over again. We have to start over again. We hope to see a lot of development over the next decade. We knew it was all over. We live over there. We lost sight of them over half an hour ago. We must talk it over. We need to start over. We ought to get over there. We sometimes invite friends over to dinner. We stayed in Boston over Christmas. We talked over a cup of coffee. We talked over our problems. We talked over the phone. We talked over the plan with him. We talked the plan over with him. We think we are over the worst. We traveled all over the country. We used to talk over a cup of coffee. We waited for the bus, but it was over 30 minutes late, so we caught a cab. We went all over the country. We went over all the details. We went over this last week. We will talk over the matter later. We'd like to start over. We'll be right over. We'll go over everything again. We'll go over it again tomorrow morning. We'll go over it again. We'll just have to start over. We'll start over. We'll talk things over. We're being pulled over. We're starting over. We're taking over. We've been all over the neighborhood. We've been friends for over 30 years. We've been here over an hour. We've been looking all over for you. We've been over it 3 times already. We've been over it 3 times. We've been over that. We've been over this 1,000 times. We've been over this before. We've been over this. We've gone over this before. We've got to start over. We've known each other for over 30 years. We've talked it over among ourselves. We've talked it over. We've worked together for over 30 years. What are they doing over there? What are you going to do over the weekend? What came over you? What did I trip over? What does the sign over the door say? What happened over there? What happened? There's water all over the apartment. What is over there? What is that over there? What should I put on over my sweater? What time are Tom and Mary coming over? What time are you coming over tonight? What time is it over there? What time will your last class be over? What was the fight over? What will you be doing over the weekend? Whatever happened, it's over. What's come over you? What's going on over there? What's happening over there? What's left over? What's over there? What's that over there? What's the sign over the door say? What's Tom doing over there? When can I come over? When can you come over to my house? When is school over? When would you have time to come over and help me move my piano? When would you like me to come over? When's it over? When's Tom coming over to fix that? Whether you believe it or not, I want to get this thing over with as much as you do. Who's coming over this afternoon? Who's that girl sitting over there? Who's that in the corner over there? Who's that man over there? Who's that man standing over there? Who's the guy over there? Why are you sitting way over there? Why did you come over here? Why doesn't Tom want us over? Why don't we talk about this over dinner? Why don't you both come over for dinner? Why don't you come over around 6 or so? Why don't you come over for dinner? Why don't you come over for supper? Why don't you come over here? Why don't you come over to my house for dinner tonight? Why don't you come over to my place sometime? Why don't you come over tonight? Why don't you come over? Why don't you give us a couple of days to think it over? Why don't you go over to Tom's? Why don't you invite Tom over to watch a video with us? Why don't you invite Tom over? Why don't you pull over and take a rest for a while? Why don't you pull over? Why don't you take over? Why don't you talk it over with Tom? Why would Tom come over here and help us? Will you come over here? Would you come over here, please? Would you come over here? Would you like to come over for dinner after work on Monday? Would you like to come over for dinner? Would you like to come over to my house? Would you like to come over to my place? Would you like to come over to our house for dinner? Would you like to come over tonight after work? Would you mind going over that again? Would you please come over here? Would you please look over my report? Yesterday, Tom was backing up his car, he ran over Mary's bicycle. You are in over your head. You can see a white tower over there. You can take over now. You can't start over. You could be in over your head. You could search the world over and never find another man more honest than Tom. You could have come over. You might want to wait over there. You need to get over here. You need to get over it. You overanalyze everything. You said it was over. You should look over the contract before you sign it. You'd better get over here. You'd better hand it over. You'll get over it. You'll get over this. Your problems are over. Your suitcases are over there. Your time is over now. You're in over your head. You're in way over your head. You're more than welcome to come over. You're over 30. You're overanalyzing. You're taking over. Yours is over there. You've been waiting for over 3 hours.